Alright, well, welcome to chapter 22, section 2 on the Eastern Mediterranean. Now, this is an area that has a ton of conflict. I mean, a lot of times in the news we hear about suicide bombings and terrible things happening in this area of Jerusalem. A couple summers ago in Lebanon, there's a big bombing. And it's an area that holds a lot of mystery and, I don't know, unrest, and we all know about it. This is also an area that is the holy land for three religions, and they happen to be the three monotheistic religions: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. So let's take a look at that, and I have a few pictures to show you as we go through. This is found starting on page 510 in your books. So the major country in this area is Israel. Now, Israel itself is home to the Holy Land for those three religions. Now, for the Jewish people, this has been their home for forever. They were kicked out a few times here and there, but they've had this really tumultuous history there. Now, they had a lot of temples. There's a really old part of the city called the Temple Mount, and it was there that King Solomon built his first temple. It holds a lot of significance in that area, the old area. And then they got kicked out, and they came back, and King Solomon built a second temple, and the remaining portion, only one wall, and you can see it here in this picture right here. In this picture is the Western Wall, or they call it the Wailing Wall. People will go through here. You can kind of see a line of people right in here. It's a line of people. And they walk by and they say their prayers and they pray, or they write up little prayers and they roll them up in pieces of paper and stick them in the holes of this wall. It is very important to them. Now, this is the only part of the temple. This wall right here is the only part of the temple that was left after the Romans. So I'm just going to write that down. The Romans destroyed that temple, and this is the only piece left. And then after that, they get kicked out, which I'll come back to talking about later. So a lot of historic things there, but the main one that the Jewish people go to is called the Wailing Wall. Now, for Christians, this area also holds a lot of importance in their beliefs and their lifestyle, because this is the place where Jesus spent most of his life, was in Israel and, well, the old area of Palestine. And especially Jerusalem is where he spent his last days. Now, there are people, I know my husband's great-grandma went on a Holy Land tour with a picture of her riding a camel through Egypt. But a lot of Christians will go on these Holy Land tours. The one place they go is here, the Mountain of Olives. And another place is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. But again, the whole city and the whole region hold a lot of history and significance to Christians. There's also lands where they did the Crusades and all kinds of stuff. So Christians will also go to Israel because it is holy to them. Now, for Muslims, this is their third most holy city after Mecca and Medina. So I'm going to write Mecca, which can also be M-A-K-K-A-H sometimes. Same thing. And Medina. Those are the two first holy cities. So 1, 2, and then 3 is Jerusalem. Now, their holy site is called the Dome of the Rock. It's a big, beautiful gold dome surrounded by the blue tiled building. And again, their buildings are decorated with calligraphy. Not pictures, not images, not statues. It's just with pictures. So the Dome of the Rock is very significant for them. They believe that there's a rock inside, and that Prophet Muhammad rose into heaven from this rock. Now, the Jewish people believe that this is the rock, for Jewish, that Abraham was going to sacrifice his son Isaac, on that rock. So it's a holy site for everybody, but the Jews do get kicked out of Israel by the Romans, and then of course all the other people just kind of move in and take over, and then they convert to Islam. So it had been Muslim for years, up until 1950 officially. So it was Jewish, now it's Muslim, and it's still Muslim primarily, but this whole city just has a lot of history for the three main monotheistic religions.